Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Thanks for joining us today on this wonderful Saturday, wherever you are. Hope you guys are having a good morning. We do need to thank one other partner of ours, a couple others actually. Here we've got Nikki Anderson in the studio with us, realtor.
Found out she's
realtor.
a gamer.
She is a gamer.
She's been a gamesmanship, a closeted
Am I really?
gamesmanship. Closeted
You
gamer.
are.
You're a closeted gamer because you finally came out and admitted that you used to do those things on purpose.
Yeah, some of the things I do.
You don't want to admit what you said off the air, but you honestly think when you're playing with someone, do you? Do you want to admit that?
No,
okay,
I don't want to admit
all
that.
right.
I have to go to confession. over
Yes,
that
you
one.
do.
But Nikki Anderson, realtor, is a partner with us on Golf Talk Radio as well as a GTR producer. You can call her directly at 805-235-3327. 805-235-3327. You're looking to list real estate. Need some advice on real estate? Buy real estate, Nikki Anderson. And visit golftalkradio.com. And on the homepage, we have a link to their to Nikki and Rick's wonderful condo in Hawaii. And you can book a great package there. Go play some golf in Hawaii. And it's listed at vrbo.com. The listing number is 614266.
And I want to shout out to the listener who went up and put the house and put your money down on the house she sold last week because of us in Morro Bay. She is in escrow, and we promoted that thing, gave the addresses, and we want to thank you because we know it's one of you that went out there and did that. Congratulations to the listener and to you, Nikki, for getting that house moving.
Thanks,
And
Billy.
what was the address again? Was it 720 Ridge Drive?
Yes.
Wow.
Steel
Oh,
trap.
see, it's a lie. See, it's a lie. It's Ridgeway.
Gamesmanship.
All right.
Those games.
So-
Isn't that a topic today?
Right before the break, joining us is Mike Kelsey. And what's your official title? Are you manager?
Official title is marketing manager for Avila and Black Lake. So anytime you see something up on Facebook for Avila or Black Lake or Avila Resort Weddings or Avila Concerts on the Cove or any of our Instagram, that's me.
But you wear many hats under that title.
I do, and I don't look
Because
good in
you're,
hats. I
you're
look good in
picking the
a
range
visor.
the other day,
Yeah.
like any other overall manager would do at any golf
That's
operation.
what you got to do. If the
And you're
range
working the
needs picking,
counters, you're doing the things that need to be done, and that's
That's
the
what I
sign.
do.
Mike is a quality director. He does that same thing. It's impressive people who want to do things right, do things right. So congratulations, both of you.
Thank
but
you.
right before the break, I mentioned went to La Cumbre and found out it's a beautiful private club. They have a set budget every year. There's X amount coming in. They know what they can spend, right? There's a waiting list for their membership. It's a private club. So the budget's easy, right, Mike? You know the money you got to spend, correct? I mean, you just know what you have. So they tore some of the grass, the grass that's people never walk on. It's a big open field, as Mike mentioned, and took all that grass out, put down wood chips and different materials, and they saved $22,000 a month in water. Wow, just a month. That's savings?
Yeah.
So what they spend in water, I have no idea. I just know they save that
That's
amount.
probably water and the expense of pumping the water.
and mowing,
Yeah.
maintenance.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't say maintenance. Just talk about water bill. They were just talking
Yeah.
about the water bill. I know they save on other things, obviously. But,
Yeah, it's
but that just
probably
seems like
water.
a
Pumping
lot.
too.
Probably
yeah.
water, electrical, and then it depends on whether the water is they have to buy and purchase the water, or whether they have wells on their own wells, and then they can pump it on their own.
And in this in California, I mean, if we were in Louisiana where they've got 30 inches of rain in a day, literally, and this is such a drought area, and it's kind of a bummer because without water, you don't have green grass. So a lot of the golf courses, if you notice, their ranges might not be so plush and green that we used to be used to growing up. They are turning brown because it's just not the place to water.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. People aren't walking out there. So people should understand that they've got to put it where it belongs, right? I mean, that's what you have to do, and then make the adjustments, like getting rid of a lot of the grass and vegetation. Like you mentioned, one quarter you're taking down some trees and took down some grass. Was that who did that?
That was Satakoy Country
did it.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, Troon went in there. I ran into some people yesterday at Paso Golf Club that were playing up there, and they came up from Troon, and they said, "Hey, have you ever played They were so happy. You ever played Satakoy? And last time I played Satakoy Country Club, I mean, it looked like you're walking back in time.
Yeah.
Like literally back into the 50s. And
That's when
I
you
just
were,
remember
you were a kid then.
I just remember the trees, like everything was hanging down so low, like even just hitting off of a tee. There was just no room. There's like this, we were laughing. There's a little sliver of a corridor because they hadn't done any tree trimming. They hadn't done anything. And they took 70 trees out, 20 bunkers, and then they stripped a lot of the stuff away. And they're very happy about it. You know?
It's clean. It's got aesthetics,
Yeah.
right? It's clean looking. It's better to play.
It's modernized.
Easier
Where is
to
it?
maintain.
Satakoy's down
Oxnard-ish?
Oxnard area. Yeah. kind of towards the hills.
Yeah. Remember we played, speaking of people have money, we played North Ranch. We
Yes.
have a budget. And on one hole, there was 11 maintenance people.
Yes.
There was no one on the, you and I are the only ones on the golf course.
That's
And there was
crazy.
11 maintenance people on one hole.
That was amazing.
That sounds like one of our competitive rounds.
Mike and I looked at each other and went, oh, we had to count them. I think you counted him twice. No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We seem to have a habit of that. Remember when we went to Olympic Club? It was the same way. They were getting ready for the
the open or
the
something.
amateur.
The amateur, that's right.
And, you know, the course is in great condition, and they're peeling back perfect sod to put in
They
the
were
natural
making-
fescue that was really tall to line the bunkers with. And like every hole we played, there was at least 3 guys on every hole.
So are you going to have that crew at Black Lake now? You're going to get 3 people on every hole? I do remember that.
Well, we got
Yeah.
27 holes, so that's a lot.
That's a lot of
people.
crew.
Yeah, that's 81.
big crew.
I just did math.
Wow, that was quick.
yeah, thanks.
Very cool.
But,
no, you know I'm kidding, but you're at least
No, that's the direction we're heading in. This is what I've said when I first came on. It's a course that's got good bones. It was a really nice course. It's a nice track, great layout. We've got 3 different nines at 3 different challenge levels, and I mean completely different styles of courses. And it's just they need some love. That's really what it is. And I'm working with Mike Scott, who's our superintendent, great guy. We just got a new assistant superintendent, Dale Simpson, fantastic guy. Came from the Bay Area. It was a Crow Canyon Country Club up in I think Danville area, and just both of them. You can see there's been a change. There's a new fire kind of for people seeing what it was and what it can be, and it's not going to take a lot to get it back to what it was.
And you mentioned, I know I asked you during the break, but you mentioned that this new equipment's coming in. And when do you expect that stuff to come in and get started?
I would say within the next few weeks is the target.
It's very exciting. Well, I want to thank you, especially I wear my hat there, and I'm there almost every day. Well, see, I live there every day, but I pop in when I can. And to see the good things happening and to feel it, more so feel it. Thank you for who you are, and what's happening down there, because it's really nice to be proud or say something great's happening. And I'm glad it's coming back. So thank you.
Well, thank
I
you.
really appreciate.
Thanks
your
for
time,
having me.
Mike.
And
It's Mike Kelsey, by the way. Say hi to him next time you're at Black Lake.
There you go.
So, go ahead. You got something you wanted to end with?
Oh, Club Black Lakes tonight, 5 to 8. Come on down. Great.
You wanna
food.
go dancing,
Yeah,
Nikki?
come dance with
I'd like
us.
to play golf.
Come play golf.
Can I ask a question? Sure. So the lakes side, is there going to be water back in that?
You mean lakes on the lakes
Yes.
course?
Will there be lakes in the lakes course?
The problem with the lakes is the line. They let the water level go low,
And
and
the
then
liners
a
move.
lot of golfers and maintenance would get out there on the liner, and then the liner's cracked and broken. So to
Well,
replace that liner is about $200,000.
I'm not sure
so
I
the
can
answer is
mention
yes,
this, but
some-
Mike and I are working on new bladder liners in his studio office up at his garage, and we're working on a new material that we could come up with a bladder that might work. But
Come on down.
Am I allowed to mention that, Mike?
Yeah.
Sure. Are we
Yeah.
we're past R&D, right? We're actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing about that pond is it doesn't water the golf course.
No, it's
It was
That's
that
what's
strictly
crazy
aesthetic.
when we were talking
It
about
was strictly-
1970s, 60s design.
They built
it's
it-
completely aesthetic, but it's the deepest pond on the whole
Yep.
golf course.
And they built this for the photograph for the
Yeah.
scorecard.
beautiful.
And they said,
photographs.
"Cut, let's
Yeah.
pop that thing." Let's-
Most expensive photograph you ever took.
Come give us a bid on a new liner.
yeah,
There
we're,
you go,
we're working
man.
on it. I did,
All right.
so we're at stage 3
Cool.
of bladder. We call it bladder control. What's wrong with that?
It's perfect.
Oh,
There's
that's the
nothing
perfect
wrong.
name.
That is
Oh,
a perfect name.
funny.
Let's start the
It still
company.
has little leaks, which is what we're fighting.
I'd like to
We-
buy in. I'd like to
I
buy in.
think that's our new company. We need to
That's
start that.
funny.
I'm going to write that.
Oh, now
one
she wants
down.
part of that too, now, Mike.
Of course.
We'll vote.
All
All right. Oh, do you want to take a break?
We got Dave on the line.
Oh,
he's,
okay.
he's holding on there. So
Well,
we'll
thank
just
you,
jump
Mike,
into
for your
Dave.
time. All right,
Thank
man?
you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
We're kicking you out of here, but you
All
can
right.
stay if you want. But we're going to be jumping into.
Dave, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can take care of my bladder control.
There you go. Very cool, man. What's happening?
I knew I shouldn't have mentioned
Not a
that.
whole lot. How's everybody today?
We're good.
We're great, Dave.
We're
Thank
good.
you.
Very good, man. What's new with you?
Oh, really? Not a whole heck of a lot.
Are you staying busy?
As busy as I can be right now. Yeah, I've been going in and out of the care center with Mom. So,
I'm sorry.
oh, don't
Sorry,
be.
sorry.
She's getting better all the time. So that's good news. It's just not fast news.
So I thought I'd ask you something. The you know how the rules in golf are changing a lot here coming in 2019. They made some major changes.
Yeah.
Are there some changes coming up with the golf equipment? I've already seen some new equipment for 2019 that actually is kind of mind blowing, to be honest with you. Some of the club design and stuff, and there was some of them.
Oh, what
were-
have you seen?
I can't explain it. It looks like a UFO, to be honest with you, the way some of these head shapes are. And I'm just wondering if you had heard.
Regular clubs or putters?
They look like,
Spaceships.
yes, they look like they actually modified a hybrid, and it almost looks like it has horns. I can't explain it.
Have
more
you been
than that.
sleeping well, Mike?
I have.
Have you? Okay.
These are like little, well, Mike's here and he does marketing. And so this stuff, you can tell they're slipping this stuff out. Like they're just
There's
major.
a horny golf club out
Yes,
there is what
the
you're trying to
OEM
say.
club companies are throwing little things out there.
Is it a
and
driver that has horns?
So
Well-
you got horny.
Bladder control.
It's like a
problem.
horny hybrid.
Horny hybrid. Hey,
Yes.
write it down, Nikki. That's our
It
next
is.
business, the horny hybrid.
And so
Okay.
I thought, we
dated
should
one of
ask
those
Dave
in eighth
about
grade.
this because Dave knows everything about equipment. And usually when the
I don't
OEM
know
companies.
anything about horny hybrids.
when OEM companies are doing something, usually you know something on the other side
Yeah.
too. So I was curious because
Actually, I'm usually pretty good on that.
Do you have horny clubs yourself in your in your
But when you start talking about horny hybrids, I think I'll bow out.
All right. I think there's a market there.
that's so
Mike, you got to dig
awesome.
up this picture you're talking about.
I have to find it.
I know
I'm
you
gonna,
have.
I'm gonna try to find
So
it.
I guess to his point, Dave.
Was it kind of like the Fang putter?
Yes.
That kind of a look?
Yeah.
Oh,
I am dead serious.
no, I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
the fang, like a snake.
Yeah.
Fangs?
Have you ever seen those? The
I've
putters?
seen
Fang?
snakes.
Yeah. There's like putters that look
Don't
like
like
they have
snakes.
fangs on them.
Don't like snakes.
Yeah, they got two horns coming out the back.
Yeah. So
Why?
Yeah. There you go. There's a good question.
MOI.
Moment of inertia.
Just so they, yeah.
Because you can
Just so
yell,
they
bite,
resist
bite,
twisting more.
when you hit it, right?
What's it do? What's it do, Dave?
They resist twisting on off-center hits. It's just anytime you move the weight back and
It's a big fang.
and from heel to toe, you're gonna have a higher MOI or more forgiving golf club. That's all.
So it actually is.
Well,
So why don't I put a whole set of dentures back there?
The first pings that had the heel and toe weighting, and that has been the most popular putter since the beginning of time, ever since those started
Yeah.
up.
Ever since
And
cash in.
the whole
one way.
idea was moving the weight to the perimeter of the club, and they've gone even farther than that. Instead of just the perimeter, moving it back also helps. That's one of the reasons the big drivers are more forgiving. Is not necessarily just because of the size, although that helps.
But Dave, you
But,
got to tell the
you have
listener
weight
you can only
moved
go back
from
so
the
far.
face too.
Did you not? Right, Dave? You got
What's
to
that?
you got to tell the listeners you can only go back so far because you can't go farther back than the length of your club face, right?
Yeah, what is it? Club face, heel to toe, I think it's 5 inches as long as it can be, and 7 inches on putters, I believe, and then it cannot be longer from front to back than it is from heel to toe.
There you go. See that? So you have to have the
Wow.
right size fangs.
That's what. Yeah.
So there really have you found the picture of the fang
No.
putter?
It's not a putter.
So
it's a
Dave,
hybrid.
in the component business that you're in, and not the main top line clubs, do they follow suit, or do you guys the components follow suit, or do they follow this? Do the top line clubs follow the component companies? Did that make any sense at all?
You said a word that makes my skin crawl.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well that's why it's Halloween time. At least I can do.
Clones. No, there are clones. And
I
they
didn't
do
say the word
exactly what
clone.
you say. They follow suit, and they are very cheap, inexpensive knockoffs of popular golf clubs.
For the record, I never
But-
said clone.
You know?
No, I didn't.
You said clown. I
Clown,
think.
yeah,
It was clown.
I did not say. the
Did
word.
you say clown?
Yeah, I did not say the word clone.
Oh, okay. Well,
But now we know.
I will
what-
now.
what-
Now we know
self.
what makes your skin crawl. So now
Yes.
we can gamesmanship him.
Yes. And we're going to talk to you about gamesmanship in a minute, Dave.
Yeah.
oh, I love that.
I
Yeah,
know you
we
do.
know. We know you.
we want you to share some of your secret
Yeah.
techniques.
I guess
there.
I meant which comes first, the chicken or the egg. I mean, so with these new
Or the
clubs,
clown.
or the
No,
clown.
and that's a good question, Bill.
Thanks.
On a lot of the top line component companies, they'll come out ahead of the OEMs, the Titleist, the Pings, and those guys, because that's what they have to do. They have to be more cutting edge, and they have to actually take more chances. Quite often, I've seen component heads come out where pretty much the same idea, and they are something like fangs that Mike's talking about, just something that is just, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. And 5 years later, they'll come out with the OEMs will come out with the same thing.
Do you remember the Ping Zings that had the little tabs on them? They looked like they had little tabs sticking out. It was almost like they poured the metal into a cast, formed the club head, and then they forgot to shave it off. There's little tabs all the way around.
Fork thing?
Oh, it was weird. It was it used to bother the heck out of me. Because when you hit those clubs, you'd see all these little tabs sticking out the top of the club and off the toe and everything. Those didn't last.
I do
very
remember
long.
those.
They didn't last very long.
back, yeah. But in fact, going back to Billy's question, I know a couple of times where OEMs have been sued for stealing designs, and one of them, I was talking to Ralph Maltby, who's head of GolfWorks. Oh, God, this was 5-10 years ago. And he had to appear in court where this company was suing, I think it was Callaway, for stealing a design. And he came in as a character witness and said, hell, I had that design 12 years ago.
Wow.
So,
I think that happens more often than we think.
And so, the component companies have to be a little more cutting edge because they don't have Tiger hitting their clubs and they don't have the money to do marketing and stuff like that. So,
if you think about golf club design in general and the people that do it, it kind of is a niche profession. You think about the guys that have bounced between the different OEM companies. You're bound to have stuff bleed across the lines. I think that happens more often than not. I know it happens a lot with golf ball companies. Especially with the startup companies. A lot of these startup companies that start off really, really strong usually get shut down by a Titleist or a Callaway because it was a design that Callaway or Titleist actually threw away. And then they thought, the golf ball company was starting up, thought that they could use that design because a manufacturer company in Korea actually owns the patent to it. But because Titleist touched it at one time or Callaway touched it at one time, as soon as somebody has success, they shut them down.
Well, I think there's a gentleman named Scotty Cameron that kind of got a hold of a Ping copy.
Yeah.
Karsten,
he
little
makes the prettiest pings in the world.
Yes,
doesn't
he does make the prettiest Karsten putters in
Cleveland's
the world.
Cleveland's with Callaway. And look at the Mac Daddy Callaway wedges that Cleveland's making now. They're insane.
Which is funny because Cleveland doesn't design Cleveland wedges anymore.
No.
Roger does.
No.
Who does?
The big
Callaway.
Cleveland doesn't. That's correct.
Eli.
The big companies have R&D departments. I mean, they have a whole staff of people sitting around doodling, just like Billy's sitting over here doodling his horned hybrid. You've got guys sitting around coming up with ideas. How about if we put horns on it? And,
trying to give 'em a little horn. They didn't like it.
if they don't use it, they still patent it and they own that right. And
You
so
are a great artist. I forgot how good of an
is.
artist you
Stop.
are.
He's the Picasso
look
of
at
the
that.
golf world.
I think you should draw a little sketch of Mike right there next to you. Do it.
Oh, yeah, don't move. Don't move. That's
God.
good.
Yeah, that's impressive. I got to take a picture of that.
So I just leave it alone. So, anyways, Dave, when the year
Make sure you post that picture on my radio.
Dave, you would be proud.
Dave,
I am
it's
totally
good
being
radio.
serious.
when new clubs come out and people see they see the commercials and they see these things. So people are looking for new clubs. Does your company do you have to stay on top of this stuff so you can guide them to something? And I didn't say that word that you're talking about, but you can find something clean like it and say, that this is just as or better than, but this is what you saw because they don't see all the stuff you have, right? So how do you stay on top of it? All the things change. It seems like they change all the time. They don't really need to. I mean, I've had played a driver I've had for years.
No, I see where you're going. Actually, they don't change as quickly in the component industry as they do in the OEMs. You look at a company like TaylorMade. They're slowing down now, but they were coming out with 3, 4, 5 drivers a year.
And it almost broke them.
I know.
It almost
broke them. That's right.
It literally almost broke them.
Beat them to death. And I always said it would, and I couldn't see how it kept up for as long as it did. Component companies, if they find a winner, they'll keep it for 5, 6, 7 years. And like that driver head that you had, Bill, the SMT. That was a leading seller for at least 5, 6 years.
Was that the Maybelline day?
Yeah, Revlon, Revy.
Yeah, that's a great club.
That thing hung on for that and the Bang-O-Matic. Those two driver heads were the top of the component world for years because they came out with an exceptionally good design. The Bang-O-Matic had the ridges in the back of the club, which like Callaway's come up with a what do they call it, jailbreak thing that keeps the head from collapsing.
Right.
Bang Golf was doing that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think there's obviously, I mean, it's just like any other industry. There's a lot of exchanging of ideas, or whether or not necessarily together, but everybody's thinking the same thing. They're just doing it at different times.
Mike,
and that's quite often. Wishan Golf came out with the single length clubs before DeChambeau, even made a sniff at the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, and Mark, you guys are marketing, and if you have a good product, wouldn't a good market says we don't need to change, we're good as we are, just as we are. So this next year's whole marketing is like, hey, we've got it already great.
Yeah.
Well, Billy,
that doesn't sell new clubs.
You're old enough to remember Wilson kept the same design for years. So did McGregor.
Yeah, they did.
You look at certain heads that were fantastic heads; they stuck around for at least 2, 3, 4 years, and they just don't do that anymore.
They did. I mean, the Wilson staff irons, although they changed a little bit in the fonts or the stuff that they stamped on them, but you're right, they're the same heads. They pretty much were the same heads for 6, 7 years, Dave. Right?
Yeah. Well, actually. When they changed the markings on it, that was a new head.
Yeah.
But they had identical heads for
that's what I mean.
3, 4, 5 years.
The new head was the markings. Yeah, exactly. And great irons. I mean, they were just fabulous. And then Ping irons were pretty much the same. They went to the Zing, not the Zing, but the
Zing
bigger.
was pretty much the first change in that.
The
head.
I2s or the
the
I's
I2s,
and the stuff
I's,
like that.
I2s.
Remember, they had like 80% of the club market or more when they first came out. They did.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. Everybody had
Well, it was when irons back in those days. It was Ping or what was the other one, Bill?
the other one that looked like Ping, you mean? The Tommy Armour?
No, that dominated the market back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Well, it was Wilson, the staff did.
Pings, they were the
what I
players' blade, but Pings or Lynx.
I was just going to say the
Lynx came
Lynx.
after, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good old Freddie.
Predators.
somebody
the
came in and said, I want one of these newfangled clubs. I give them a Ping and a Lynx. They go hit them.
And then remember, the Tommy Armour copied the Ping.
845s.
845s. It was
Yep.
really close, and they became popular. Then everybody started to.
Yeah,
But
I
it was
remember that.
Tommy
Oh,
Armour's
boy,
was close.
They sold a potload of those suckers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I just find it interesting that the equipment. But although Dave, that you re-gripped that Ping set I found in a shed, and they just don't go near as far as the modern club. I mean, the irons, they don't.
Yeah.
The lofts are so higher, much higher than, and
Well, that's the key.
yeah. So it's you're killing
Just
it. So there, I guess there is something to that.
Dave, you want to hang on for a break and come back, and we'll talk a little bit about how you mark your balls.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your balls, Dave, when you come back.
Well, I came in with bladder problems.
That's what I
and now
mean.
mark my balls.
We're just going to round it
And I
out.
got a
real nice.
list.
Personally, I
Don't forget
love
the
it.
horny hybrid.
Yeah,
And I got a list of how some of the top people mark their balls.
perfect. All right, so we're going to take a break. You guys stay with us. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy is brought to you by the Paso Robles Golf Club, located in the heart of wine country. Give them a call at 805-238-4722 for tee times, PasoRoblesGolfClub.com. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.
At Mr. Car Wash.